we run a Deakin Stadium is the venue for the PS4 NPL Canberra clash this afternoon as second meets third, Canberra FC versus Canberra Olympic. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator for today, and joining me in the commentary box is Belconnen United head coach Dean Grinick. Good afternoon, Dean, and welcome to Deakin. We're looking forward to what should be a cracker today.
Pleasure.
We'll have a look at the two teams in a minute. Just want to talk about very briefly about your team last night. 6-0 win over Riverina Rhinos, puts you back into the top four. Pretty happy with the performance?
You're very happy with the performance last night. The boys were outstanding.
Anyone in particular catch your eye in your lineup?
No, it was an all-round team effort. I thought everyone was exceptional last night.
Yeah, goals from Isaac Clements, Dustin Wells, Jason Grinick, Daniel Fabrizio, and a brace from Michael Tarazzi, giving you the points there over a Riverina team that I understand didn't offer much of a threat going forward and didn't even have a shot. No.
It was an outstanding performance for the guys. I mean, we were very dominant in attack. We were excellent, off the ball defensively, and they didn't have a shot on a goal all throughout that 90 minutes. So it was a very pleasing performance.
And there was one other game yesterday as well. The FFA Centre of Excellence went to the top of the table with a 3-0 over Tuggeranong. Goals from Truin Muratovic and Jacob Italiano there. And they're looking the goods this year as well. They've come on leaps and bounds from their first season together.
The Centre of Excellence are, in my opinion, the standout side. They're certainly the harder side that we've played so far this season. And, if they can continue in that form, they'll be well placed in the finish.
Looking ahead to this afternoon, the teams will be out very shortly. There's a couple of other games taking place across Canberra, the region. Gungahlin United play Woden Western and Tigers FC play Monero Panthers. You'd probably expect home wins from those two matches?
Yeah, you'd think so. Gungahlin are having a very good season under Marcel. Of course, Cooma in Cooma is always difficult.
So looking ahead to this game then, the two teams which will be out on the field in just a moment, Canberra FC rather, let's start with them. Sam Brown is in goal. A back three, it looks like, of Michael Mentzer, Marko Verkic and Ivan Pavlak. Then four across the middle, Jordan Lamb, Ian Graham, Aidan Brunskill and Nico Kresic. Matthew Waters just behind Kofi Danning and Dominic Giampaolo up front. You expect them to play in that formation, or do you think it will be more of a 5-5 defensively?
I think they'll go with 5 defensively. And those two wing backs will generally sit until such time that the ball is delivered into the front third, and then you'll see some of those wing backs advancing. But generally, when the ball's in when plays in the middle third or the back third, they'll generally stay in that 5.
Plenty of pace out wide in Kresic and Lamb as well. Do you think that could be a deciding factor this afternoon, or has Olympic got too much defensively for those pair to cause much of a problem? No,
they are. When they do go forward, they offer a lot of problems to solve. It'll be interesting to see how Olympic line up, obviously to counter those two wing backs.
This is the first time this season that Canberra FC will have been on. Viewers may have seen Canberra FC on Bar TV, and Kofi Danning in the lineup will catch their eye as well. Good to see him back and playing a bit of football.
Oh, absolutely. Kofi, we last saw Kofi in Canberra with the O'Connor Knights, and I happened to have the pleasure of coaching him in that one season that we had the pleasure of seeing him. He went on to some bigger and better things beyond that, but obviously now he's come back home, so to speak, at his junior club, and of course he's a quality player.
Whilst there's a lot of familiar names in that Canberra FC team to local listeners and viewers, Matthew Waters came into the squad this year from Woden, and he settled in pretty well and is a danger from set pieces. Yeah,
absolutely. To be honest with you, I'd not heard of him prior to probably this season. It certainly didn't catch my eye, but certainly in the earlier game this year that we played him, he was he's been a very good player for them, a dangerous player.
Yeah, we'll have a look then at the Canberra Olympic team. They obviously won the Westwood FA Cup qualifying final here last week. Angelo Constantinou continues in goal. They'll have 4 across the back. Tim Bobolas, Nick Bobolas, Phil Yarnell comes into the team that won that cup competition, and Josh Calabria at left back. Midfields of Daniel Colbertado and Nathan Medjic just behind the outstanding Robbie Catanach. Forward 3 of Tom McLaughlin, Stephen Dominici and Jeremy Habtemariam. Pretty classy outfit, Dean, when you look through that 11.
It's solid everywhere. It really is a solid outfit.
And last week, Robbie Cadnach made the difference with a couple of goals. You're not surprised by that, are you?
No. He's been the standout player in the competition for the last couple of years, and it's no coincidence that wherever he is, you're going to win games.
And looking at the respective strength of the two benches, Canberra FC to start with, James Field, Kai Edwards, Thomas Milosevic, Daniel Subasic and Mitch Kay on the bench there. James Field, an ex-Olympic player as well, so he'll be keen to do well this afternoon.
Absolutely. So my understanding, he's been out injured for most of the season, so it's probably a welcome relief for Deacon to have him back.
And Canberra Olympic, Michael Reeve, Bernard René, Joshua Gillespie, Cal Smith and Jamie Lee Goyle, who's the reserve goalkeeper. Last week we talked about, when Andy Bennell with me last week, about the quality of Josh Gillespie, and he came on and did quite well towards the end there. We're expecting more of the same this afternoon if Olympic need him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got a solid bench, Olympic, not only Josh, but there's a couple of others there that they won't lose anything when they come on.
Canberra Olympic have 7 wins in succession in this competition, 8 overall. They're second in the table. They win 1 point behind the FFA Centre of Excellence yesterday. But they have 2 games in hand, and Canberra FC are third with 6 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses with 20 points. But their form hasn't been great coming into this one, has it? Only 2 points from the last 9, a draw with the FFA Centre of Excellence, a loss here at home against Gungahlin, and then a draw, somewhat surprisingly, against Riverina last week. Do you think that'll be a cause for concern for Marko Verkic?
It probably is, but what I know about Canberra FC is that when they are facing a difficult time, they bunker in, and I'm sure that there'll be an improved performance this afternoon. And of course, it's always it's a derby game, and there's it's a rivalry. It doesn't matter where these teams are on the table. They'll always come out and give it their all.
I'm going to address the elephant in the room here for Canberra FC as well, which is the absence of their leading goal scorer, Thomas James. I understand there's been a disagreement between him and the club, and at the moment he's unavailable for selection. Big loss for them in terms of what he brings to the team, in terms of his goal-scoring ability.
Absolutely, he offers that pace, that unpredictability, the ability to take a couple of players on and beat them, and I think in this particular formation that Marko has, they do need that pace, someone like a TJ, and I think they're going to miss that this afternoon.
So it's Canberra Olympic in the blue shirts and blue shorts who will kick off, attacking the goal to our left. Canberra FC in their traditional red, white and blue. And it's Stephen Dominici, the league's leading goal scorer, who will get us underway. To Nathan Megic, and Canberra Olympic, fond memories of this ground. They often do well here. Won at the, as we mentioned, the FFA Cup here last week. And Dean, seems to be a ground that brings out the best in them.
I think they enjoy playing here.
Here's Arnold, looking for Habtemariam. Firm challenge coming in from Verkic, but Habtemariam rides it. Cole Bataldo. Neat and tidy from Daniel Colbertaldo, as we'd expect. And the Bobolus boys exchanging passes. And a raking ball forward by Tim Bobolus. Down the wing, looking for the run of Cadnach. But Michael Mensah comes across and defends him pretty well. And Daniel Colbertaldo last week, Dean, in the final, showed all the qualities that he's got. He makes his team tick, doesn't he? He goes under the radar quite a lot, but a very good player.
It looks to me like he's improved as a footballer over the last couple of years. He's a complete footballer now, and he's instrumental to everything that Olympic do.
Well, Cadnach whips in the free kick, and it's cleared only as far as Tom McLaughlin, whose touch lets him down a little bit. And I think it's Kresic who can bring it clear to Dominic Giampaolo. And a chance perhaps for Canberra Olympic to break away, Canberra FC rather, to break away on the left-hand side. Support is slow in coming in the box, but Danning is there, but that's straight into the hands of Angelo Constantinu, who interestingly wandered out for a warm-up about 10 minutes before kickoff. It's a bit cold here, isn't it? They probably staying warm in the dressing room.
I think Ange has deserved the right to do whatever he likes.
So early stages of the game, that's Waters, who we talked about just beforehand, setting it forward, but Yarnold's going to pick it up. The quiet opening to the match, here's Calabria. Back to Yarnold. Noticeable already that Canberra FC, Dean, aren't pressing the Olympic back four, happy to let them have the ball.
Yeah, it looks like they'd want to draw them all out and just wait till the ball gets played into the defensive block, and then hopefully they can exploit those gaps in behind the two centre-backs.
It's a ball from Yarnold, finds Colbertaldo in a little pocket of space. Here's McLaughlin, back to Colbertaldo, but his pass forward is picked off, and Ian Graham can start a Canberra FC counter. Here's Verkic. Canberra FC's turn to start again from the back with Sam Brown, a young goalkeeper. Strikes it forward. Decent knock forward by Kresic, I think that is, over there in the sun on the left-hand side. Reasonable crowd in at the moment here at Deakin Stadium. Hoping to get some decent action to warm them up as well, as it's, as I mentioned, a very cold day. Here's Magic. A lot of space for him to work in. Danning tracks back, though, and wins the ball well. And Waters can start again. Here's Pavlak. Reinvented himself, really, Dean, as a defensive player. Ivan Pavlak. He used to be charging down the wing here at Deakin Stadium in days gone by.
Yeah, very dangerous winger in his day. But he's certainly very effective in that role.
Here's Kresic again. And Pavlak. No real tempo to it so far as Mensah sends it forward. It's picked up by Kadnac, who rides one challenge and goes through a second and slides a ball into the air. Real chance for Dominici perhaps to go around Brown. Opportunity already, and Sam Brown makes a decent save on the return. It's going to break for Dominici again, though. An Olympic pressing already. Here's McLaughlin, and that ball will roll out for a corner. Great chance for Stephen Dominici.
Yeah, and look, it's no surprise that Robbie Katnack is the catalyst for that. I mean, his ability to ride a couple of challenges and then slip to Stephen Dominici. I think that's been something they've been doing for years. And
Brown did well to make the save.
Yeah, look, good save.
So the first corner of the afternoon, Tom McLaughlin will take it. Plenty of bodies in there, but he goes out to the edge of the area where Dominici's not been picked up, and he's chipped it into the area, and Mensah clears it. It's going to fall for Katnac, who just tries the acrobatic volley, but it onto the roof of the net. And Canberra FC went to sleep there briefly. Dean, you wouldn't want to leave Dominici alone on the edge of the penalty area with the quality he has.
No, and again, Robbie Katnack's got that ability to draw a couple of defenders out, beat them, and of course that leaves a little bit of space for Stephen Dominici, who happens to find spaces. He's got an ability to do that.
It's the first scare of the afternoon for the home side, and they survive it thanks to Sam Brown's agility. Here's McLaughlin. Now Katnac. Colbertado just lifts it over the back four, or back three rather, but it's going to bounce harmlessly through to Brown. Here's Jordan Lamb. And Brown sends that one forward, looking for Danning. A little push in the back there, perhaps from Yarnold. Not given by the referee, and Nick Bobolas completes the clearance. Mensah finds Giampaolo, nice touch around the corner, and Yarnold is snapping in on Danning, but it's broken for Lamb, and a chance perhaps for Canberra FC as Danning is in behind, but the flag will go up, and a couple of yards offside there.
Yeah, no, clearly offside.
But interesting battles early on. Phil Yarnold sticking pretty close to Kofi Danning. You expect to see most of that this afternoon?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks very much like Kofi and Dom are playing a little narrower, but it'll be quite interesting to see how they combine together.
Here's Magic. Sweeps the ball out towards Tim Bobolas. And Colbertado, nice turn in the middle of the park from the midfielder, and he slid a great ball down the channel for Dominici, and a chance perhaps for Olympic to break. Dominici into the area. He's got two bodies to aim. One of them is Katnac, who's there, but it's rolled across his body, and Robbie Katnac couldn't get the connection on it. The lunging challenge by Marko Verkic to attempt to intercept the ball perhaps put him off, but great chance that for someone of Robbie Katnac's ability.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it all started with a great piece of play by young Colbertado, and what a great ball into Robbie Katnac.
Do you think the challenge from Verkic was just enough to put him off? You'd expect Robbie to be taking those chances.
Yeah, I think Robbie would be disappointed with missing that one.
With 6 minutes gone, and it's mostly been Canberra Olympic as an attacking threat. A couple of good opportunities have gone their way.
Yeah, they're playing in behind that last line quite easily, and so quite threatening.
And Canberra FC yet to really settle. Here's Habtemarian with a throw. He's going to leave it for Josh Calabria. Here's Kadnac. Touch lets him down on that occasion, and Verkic wins it. Here's Graham. Experienced midfielder Ian Graham, been around for a long time, and brings a calmness to this team. Yeah,
looks solid midfielder. Rate Ian Graham's been a good quality footballer for Deakin for a long time.
Pavlak finds Danning. Now Lamb. Brunskill. Who's gone the other way to Pavlak, hasn't he? Aidan Brunskill was mostly a central defender. Now they pushed him into more of a holding midfield role.
Yeah, surprising move, that one. He's played a majority of his time as a wing-back.
It's Kresic. Now Gianpaolo. And Brunskill again, and Graham. Canberra FC looking for an opening. Ian Graham spots a run out wide of Kresic, who's taken up a good position close to the touchline. I know he can take on Tim Boblist from here. Will Kresic and Boblist as well to stand him up. Here's Waters. And Graham. And back they go again. Pavlak to Mensah. Patience is a key here for Canberra FC as Mensah looks to send that one towards Jordan Lowry. It's a good ball too, and Calabria comes across. Great raking pass there from Michael Mensah. And you can see that both teams pretty comfortable in possession and happy to wait for the opportunities to arise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's an offside. Here's Habtemariam. Cadnat from Magic and back again to Magic and overhits that one.
Yeah, it looks very much like Olympic have got a set plan of trying to play early over the top of the back three.
Looking perhaps for the pace of Dominici. He's definitely got the ability to get in there and trouble Michael Mensah, who's a good, strong central defender, but not the quickest.
No, absolutely. And with the back three, you know, those areas, those wide areas are exposed. And I'm sure that we've already seen it, that Stephen Dominici and Robbie Catton have exposed those areas.
We'll see if they can take advantage of that later in the game as we progress. Here's Pavlak. Kresic inside the Brunskill. Danning tried to roll to Nick Boblist, but Nick Boblist showed good strength. And he comes forward with it, and it keeps carrying it as a central defender, but just runs out of space on the touchline over there. Good, strong central defensive qualities from Nick Boblist as well.
Look, I think that back four is extremely solid. And when you think that Nathan Magic is actually playing as a midfielder, and he's quite comfortable playing as a central defender as well, it's a pretty solid back five.
You're not going to cough up too many chances, you wouldn't think, this afternoon. So if Canberra FC are going to score, they're going to have to do it the hard way. Once they get past that back five, of course, they've only got Angelo Constantino to get past.
Yes.
Here's Gianpaolo. And Kresic held his run, was going to be offside, and I think a little miscommunication there, but a chance for Canberra Olympic to regather. We spoke about him last week in the FFA Cup final. Angelo Constantino just keeps on going on, doesn't he?
He's an amazing coach, amazing club man. He has a wonderful career, and it looks like it's going to continue for a long time.
And amazing spring and agility for a big goalkeeper as well. He made a great save last week from Roberts when the game was at 1-0.
He's a match winner in his own right.
And loves his penalties. I wonder if we'll see him today.
Strikes them well, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Here's Magic. Just waiting for this one to really kick into gear as a contest. Here's Yarnold. There's that ball that Dean spoke about a moment ago over the back. And Calabria tries to find Dominici and Magic and Mensah with the acrobatic clearance. Here's Brunskill. Now Yarnold tight to Danning again, but this time Danning's got away from him, and Danning won't be caught by Phil Yarnold. There's a chance perhaps here for Canberra FC. Danning into the area, rolls it across the ball. It's going to come out to the left wing. The strike comes in, brilliantly saved by Constantino down low. It was Kresic, I think, who got the left-footed shot away, and Constantino showed just the qualities we were talking about. But there's the danger of Yarnold diving in on Danning, because once Danning got away, there was only one winner in that race. Yeah,
absolutely. Phil Yarnold shot out of the line, and Kofi had that individual brilliance to take him on, and go past that last line, and of course get in nice. And it was a great ball, and Kresic, great strike.
A chance here for the corner from Gianpaolo. Plenty of bodies to aim for. Verkic is up there too. It's going to come for Danning, but headed clear by Bobolis. Falls for... was a ball out wide, and I think the flag's up for some reason.
Yeah.
There's a crossfield ball from Kresic, and I think there's Gianpaolo just coming back from taking the corner. Was a bit lazy getting back onside, and coughs up possession cheaply. Do you think Danning may have wanted to shot himself from that angle, Dean, or was that the correct option?
Oh no, I think he took the right option. I don't think that angle. It looked like Angelo was set there, so he certainly took the right option.
Yeah, there's a good chance, the first one of the afternoon for Canberra FC, and a warning for Olympic. Cadnach flicks that on, and it's going to fall for Dominici. No one ahead of him, so he's got to come back. Ball's clipped into the middle, and Mensah slices his clearance somewhat, but it's out for a throw.
You can see that back five. Once that back five is set, it's pretty hard to break down.
It's a throw into there, and it's a bit of a waste. It's going to go straight through to Sam Brown. Signs are there will be chances, though, Dean, this afternoon, even though both defences are pretty good. It's going to be there's going to be opportunities.
There's just too many quality players on both sides, particularly in their front lines, not to create those chances. Here we go.
It was Lamb. It took a deflection and it's hooked clear by Yarnold. For a second v third at the moment, there's not really been much bite, though, has there? It's a funny game. It's got a funny feeling about it.
Needs a goal, Russ.
Love the old cliches coming out. It certainly does. It's still early days, mind. We've only had 13 minutes. I think it might boil into something quite good by the end of the afternoon.
Absolutely. Look, it's a little bit cagey at the moment. Both teams are trying to play football, which is nice for the fans here.
Is Danning to Brunskill, very advanced there. But he runs into Yarnold, and here's a chance for Olympic on the break. Habtemariam finds Katnach. Ian Graham's back quickly, but that's a pass back to Habtemariam, who's challenged well by Mensah and Vulakic and Lamb combine. And Danning is in behind again. The flag's up, and that was close. And so it looks like a good outlet, that one, for Canberra FC if they can get through there.
Oh, look, there is no doubt that Gofi Danning, if he can work in between those two, well, certainly the fullback and the centre back, if he can get that ball and get a good touch in behind that line, I'm sure that he'll pose plenty of problems.
Well, here's a chance for Habtemariam. He's got in behind the Canberra FC defence. Opportunity perhaps to get the ball into the penalty area. It's McLaughlin who got there first, but his touch was a bit heavy and FC can clear. And Danning and Yarnold, this is turning into quite a good little battle between these two. One to keep an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see that they're exposing those little areas that we spoke about earlier on, and that's Olympic, of course, and as you say, Kofi and Phil. Definitely going to be one that we're going to keep an eye out on.
And I just heard over the loudspeaker there that it's Gungahlin United 0, Woden Western 2, which is a bit of a surprise. As Yarnold comes across to win the tackle from Jordan Lamb. Expected Gungahlin to perhaps win that one this afternoon and 2-0 down early.
Woden have made a couple of signings during the week that have strengthened them, so yeah, it's good.
Is Verkic up towards the back post, and McLaughlin was beaten in the air, but it's going to bounce harmlessly to Constantinu, who bowls it out to this near side. Here's Calabria. And Yarnold. Here's Nick Bobolas. Gives it to Tim Bobolas, who tries to find McLaughlin, but is read really well by Pavlak, who comes forward and plays the ball into Gianpaolo. Now here's Danning on this near side. Brings down to his spell and a chance perhaps to take on Yarnold again. Feels he's got the beating of him and clips it towards the far post. And that's a dangerous-looking ball. It's hooked back into the penalty area and Calabria has to deal with it. And once again, Danning looking dangerous as an attacking force for this Canberra FC side.
You can see there's a clear strategy for Canberra FC. They're waiting for that ball to get played inside the defensive block, and when they do win it, they're trying to spring or play the ball early and try to take advantage of the disrupted line.
Well, Dominic Gianpaolo is going to swing this corner into the penalty area. It's a good-looking one too. Big challenge from two or three players, and it's broken for Dominic, who just hooks it up the field to Katnach. Nothing really on for Robbie Katnach, just to hold it up, and he's giving it straight to Aidan Brunskill, who's stabbed it towards Danning on the edge there. Shooting chance for Kofi Danning, and Constantinu has to plunge to his right to catch the ball, but another opportunity for Canberra FC from an uncharacteristic loose pass from Katnach.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly dangerous on the counter. That's Deacon, that is.
Well, Danning looking their most likely source of a goal this afternoon at the moment. Pavlak plays it wide to Kresic. Not afraid to take on his man, Nico Kresic.
Yeah, good young player. Very, very, very good young player. Promising player.
Here's Danning. The ball is punched over the top towards Gianpaolo, but the flag's going to go up against him as well. The back four from Canberra Olympic have got this offside trap down pat so far. And it's something they've been working on, obviously, I think, Dean, with Frank Keisha for a number of years now, and it's a very experienced back four as well.
It is. It's very, very solid. he's had them for a few years now, and so yeah, they've got complete trust and faith in each other.
Just being a bit sloppy in possession lately, Canberra Olympic, and that's captain actually gave it away again there. Here's Gianpaolo. He's bundled off the ball and it's going to break for Magic. No foul there, says the referee Bruno Kell. Assisted this afternoon by Nathan Shakespeare and Lawrence Atkin. Bruno Kell did the final on the weekend, Dean, and did a decent job as well. Weren't talking about the referee at the end of it, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, I think he's one of our leading referees here. He has been, by all accounts, he's been doing a good job. He didn't do a good job for us about 3-4 weeks ago, unfortunately. We lost.
There's always one complaint from somewhere.
Blame him.
Dunning looking to take on Yarnold again, but this time Phil Yarnold used the experience to get in front of Dunning, and again a good little battle, but the pass is a bit short. Brunskill could have got Gianpaolo in behind there, and he's a bit rotten at himself for the fact he didn't weight the pass properly. Here's Dominici, lovely touch back inside to Habtemariam. Bag full of tricks, Jeremy Habtemariam usually. Here's McLaughlin, and that's a wasted possession again, and usually, Dean, the midfield of Canberra Olympic is quite good in possession, but today it's been a bit sloppy.
Yeah, it's young Coupletaldo is obviously doing some good things in there, but as you say, just up a little bit further up the park, it's struggling.
We've had 19 minutes here live on Bar TV in the PS4 NPL Canberra. It's Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0. In this match, which picked second against third. I do say second with Canberra Olympic. They do have 2 games in hand and only a point behind the leaders. Very much the favourites, you would think, to reclaim the title that they won last year, Dean, and go ahead and push for grand final glory again.
Oh, well, they're certainly favourites for it. They've got a very solid outfit.
Well, here's Danning looking to do some damage for FC. Swings it into the penalty area, and it's going to break for Gianpaolo. The chance on the shot is saved by Constantino. Back for Gianpaolo, and this time the clearance is completed by Nick Bobolis. And once again, Kofi Danning involved in creating the opportunities. It's still there for FC. Here's Gianpaolo again on the right foot, dinks it into the penalty area. Yarnold's cleared it this time, and McLaughlin helps it on its way, but it's going to come back again through Pavlak. Wide to Kresic. Swings it into the box, looking for Danning, who's beaten to it by Calabria. Race between Habtemariam and Lamb, which Lamb wins. Looking for an option. And he picks one out with Michael Mensah, and Canberra FC really settled into this so far. Dean, the last couple of minutes, they've been the more likely.
Oh, absolutely. And Kofi's causing all sorts of problems for Olympic at the moment.
Yeah, they can't cope with him at the moment, but still no goals. His Waters making the run in behind the defence onto that left foot, and he's got a good left foot, but this time I've cursed him a bit, and he's chipped that one away. And I was here with Andy Bernal in the cup final on the weekend. We were talking about the merits of the Olympic defence as it was then, and today with Nick Bobolis and Phil Yarnold in it. A lot of experience, a lot of quality, but maybe a lack of pace.
Maybe that's the case, Russ. I still feel that with Phil, he's got Phil Yarnold. He's got a lot of experience, and he knows how to position his body when the good ball gets played in behind him. It'll be interesting to sort of see if if Frank decides to move Phil off Kofi and potentially swap the 2 centre backs over. He certainly match up better with Dom, that's for sure.
As Colbertado looks for the run of Habtemariam, but it's going to go straight through to Sam Brown. Real tactical battle so far, neither side coming out on top. Canberra FC perhaps having the 2 best chances. A couple of good saves from Constantino, but of course at the other end Brown denied Dominici, and there was a good chance for Cadnach too, so honours pretty much even. Here's Mensah looking for a raking ball forward to Gianpaolo, but he's overhit that one, and that's easy for Constantino. A chance for Olympic perhaps to get their attacking game into gear. Magic's loose ball again, and that's frustrated Frank Casey, who throws his hands up in frustration. Magic was looking for the run, I think, of Calabria, which didn't eventuate. Yarnold wins that ahead of Danning, and is back towards Verkic. Brown confidently slams that one forward. Bobbled a bit on him there, Dean, but the surface for this time of year is pretty good here at Deakin Stadium.
It's always a good surface. It's a great facility to play football on, and that's why it's a little bit of a surprise that Deakin will deciding to kick out rather than try to play through the lines.
And maybe it's a sign of the respect they held the Canberra Olympic midfield in, that they're trying to bypass it and create the contest further up the park.
Yeah, maybe. I just feel that once the ball's in a contest, that back four is very comfortable, in the high ball.
Where's Mensah? Again, he looks for the ball forward and swings a decent one this time into the path of Kresic, who's got a run of Waters. Nick Bobolas goes across to win it and smashes that one out the ground, and Waters catches him late, so it's a free kick. Michael Mensah's an interesting character, isn't he, Dean? He's had a bit of a checkered career here at Canberra FC. Lots of dismissals, unfortunately, but he's a pretty solid player, but needs to perhaps curb his enthusiasm a little bit.
When he's on, he's probably one of the best defenders in Canberra. Disciplined. When he's got that disciplined play about him, unfortunately, there's that other side to him, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, he's seen red a few times over the last few seasons.
Yeah, because he's a decent player. He can really play.
He reads the game well. Played at a decent level, I think, in Sweden and also in Asia. His Calabria. Constantinu sends this one forward, looking for Dominici. Mensah's going to be under this, though, and wins it easily. Thumping header forward. And Yarnold this time nips in front of Danning again. That's clearly what he's been assigned to do today, as McLaughlin looks for Dominici and Mensah wins it. Oh, but he's made a mistake there, and Dominici has a chance. He shoots low, and Brown is down to smother. And that was probably our fault for bigging him up there. Mensah, he's made a bit of an error, and Dominici almost pounced.
Yeah, it seems like that's how some of these chances are coming about through individual mistakes.
Kresic sends it forward, and Yarnold wins that ahead of Danning, who's going to get the ball back with a bit of space in which to turn, and he'll advance towards goal here. Danning now slides it wide towards Graham, but Constantinu's read it and come out well.
Kofi's certainly looking pretty dangerous, isn't he, every time he gets the ball in those sort of little pockets.
Yeah, Phil Yarnold's obviously pretty tight to him, trying to nip in and stop him turning and running at the defence. Mensah does well there this time to knock it back to Brown. Very calm defending.
I think you can see when the ball's in a contest there, it feels more comfortable. Nowhere near as comfortable.
Well, Gianpaolo's robbed now. Here's Haptamarian. Real chance if he can slide in Dominici, but he can't. And Mensah wins it brilliantly, aided by Brunskill. And that's good defending by Canberra FC to deny the opportunity, which would have put Dominici clear. Here's Verkic, but he's giving it away. And Colbertaldo can pick it up, and Olympic can go forward again with Katnach. A little bit of a hack at him there from Ivan Pavlak, and he wins the free kick in a central position. Good defending from Mensah, though, to read that one and block the opportunity, as Dominici would have been clear.
Yeah, they transitioned very well there, didn't he?
So Colbertaldo's over this free kick. Midway through the first half. Not the best angle to pick anything out here, but Colbertaldo chips it into the air, and it's a fairly tame effort, which Brown collects, and he throws it out for Danning, and he's looking to use his pace to get away from Colbertaldo. He's got Lamb in support. Jordan Lamb can bring it forward. If he puts that ball in behind, which he has, here's a real opportunity in the area for Waters, but what a tackle that is by Bobolas. It's broken for Gianpaolo, and away it goes. The chance has gone begging. At the other end now, perhaps there's a break for Olympic with McLaughlin, who looks to sweep the ball to this near side. Haptamarian's brought it under control, but it's bounced off Graham, and it will be out for a throw, and a great opportunity for Matthew Waters, but what a fantastic piece of defending by Bobolas.
Look, it was good play all round, and I think young Waters will rue that miss, to be honest with you. It was a good opportunity. Couldn't
get it out of his feet in time to get the shot away. Exactly. But good defending, credit where it's due.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Calabria. And there's a good challenge as well from the retreating Danning. Concedes the corner. Happy to put the yards in defensively as well, Kofi Danning. Corner for Canberra Olympic. Tom McLaughlin's going to come across to swing this one into the penalty area. They've sent up Nick Bobolas as well. Magic's lurking around on the edge of the box. Usual suspects. Stephen Dominici is back out on the edge of the area again, which is a little bit surprising perhaps, as McLaughlin swings that in, and the header is cleared by Marko Verkic. He's claiming it came off of the Olympic player. It was Tim Bobolas, I think, who was getting in there. And The referee's given a corner, so Verkic must have got a touch. Dangerous ball in from McLaughlin, though. We'll see if he can do it again on this set piece as he swings it in. Brown comes and claims brilliantly. Good catch by the keeper. Tom McLaughlin, player you know pretty well, Dean, from Belconnen.
Oh, yeah, look, Tommy was fantastic for that season that he had with us. In that grand final winning side. Yeah, quality player.
Yeah, they won the grand final here, and he was player of the match, I think, as well, and scored plenty of goals that season as well, didn't he, from an advanced midfield role?
An interesting player. He struggled to get into the lineup, but when he did, he took advantage of it.
He's got some good quality. He certainly made himself settled here at Olympic. Here's Gianpaolo looking for Danning, and Yarnold clears as far as Verkic, whose touch isn't great, and Habtemarian nicks it off his toe, but defensively, Pavlak is across, and Mensah's hoiked it in the air, and Megic sends it back, and it's all a bit scrappy at the moment. No one can seem to put their foot on the ball. May have heard that progress score from elsewhere. Tigers FC 1, Monero Panthers 0. And Woden Western still 2-0 up on Gungahlin. So some interesting scores. We just reiterate yesterday, the FFA Centre of Excellence went top of the table with a 3-0 win over Tuggeranong. And Dean Ugrinek, who's with me in the commentary box today, his Belconnen United side, playing probably the best football of the season they've put in with a 6-0 win over Riverina Rhinos at McKellar Park. Belconnen as a club, Dean, having a good season in the junior grades as well. A lot of talent coming through there.
Yeah, there is a lot of talent, and we've been strong for the last few years. We've won club championships for the last 3 or 4 years, and can't see why that's not going to happen again this year. We're just a very strong club.
And some good coaching talent down in those ranks as well. Steve Forshaw doing a good job, and you're telling me off air that he was being helped a little bit by Ufuk Talai as well.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have Ufuk. Ufuk's son plays for our under-14 side, and occasionally comes down and does a little bit of coaching, not only for the under-14s, but we've utilised him for our first grade side. He's an excellent guy and obviously an excellent coach. And
some good experience for the young kids to draw on as well, and hopefully progress up into this first grade and hopefully a bit further.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the goal.
Here's Cole Bataldo in midfield. Bobolus looking for a runner, but he's not going to get one, and it's out of play. And coming up to half an hour going on Bar TV in the PS4 NPL Canberra match is Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0. Not to say there hasn't been chances, a couple of good ones at either end. Keeping's been pretty good. Still waiting for that first goal, though, which will hopefully give the game that added spark. It's lacking something at the moment. The tempo's a little bit slow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little bit cagey, and both teams are just scared to make that mistake. And I think that if there is going to be a goal, it'll open up the game, I think.
Yeah, well, let's hope we get one or two before the evening's over. Both these sides not shy of goals, so it would be a surprise if it did end goalless. Here's Danning. The free kick's given for the foul on Kresic initially, though. A little shove in the back of the winger. Pavlak takes over the free kick duties and looks for Lamb, but he's overhit that one, and Calabria's going to win it comfortably. Habtemarian challenged by Verkic. Breaks for Cole Bataldo. His touch and strength is good, and he's nodded it forward towards Megic, but Mensah has it. Bit tight in there to be playing that ball, though, and Olympic are going to break with it, and an overhit pass again from Megic.
Yeah, it was a dangerous situation over there. Like they lose that ball and a better ball, and they would have been bearing in on goal.
And again, the long ball forward, but this time no one is in that channel, and it must be a tactic that they've worked on this week. It's not working for them at the moment, though, except for the one time they got Danning in the channel. Might be better off trying to keep it on the floor and playing him in behind the defence.
I think so. It's becoming a little bit predictable, really.
It's not something that's threatened Olympic too much. Is Graham wins a battle with Tim Bobolus and gets a free kick out of it. No one really to aim for up front except for Danning there, and the movement is pretty poor. So he comes back and starts again. And that's an overhit ball, which Brunskill does well to turn forward, but Olympic snap in and win it back. But they can't keep hold of it either, and it's a chance perhaps for Brunskill to get something going. And Danning's touch lets him down on this occasion. Here's Habtemariam and Katnach looking for Dominici. Mensah comes across and his strength and challenge as well, and wins the free kick, and that's a great piece of defending by Michael Mensah.
Yeah, he's a very strong boy. Very strong boy.
Pretty encapsulates what he's all about, to be honest, doesn't it? Here's Brown. Looks for Lamb. His back heel is picked up by Calabria. Verkic comes sliding in, but Calabria gets past that challenge. Lamb's still tracking him, though. But still the fullback goes on. Good run is from Calabria, and again, Mensah reads it well, but there's a free kick being given, and this is a dangerous position. 4 or 5 metres outside the penalty area, but Habtemariam goes quickly, and Bruno Kell pulls him back. He won't let them be doing that. Perhaps a shooting opportunity here, Dean?
Oh, look, I suspect that Robbie will get over the ball and do something with it.
Yeah, he's got a bit of previous. That was the end he scored at in the FFA Cup qualifying final last week. It was from a more central position and a little bit closer to goal. This one is a fair distance away, but you wouldn't bet against Robbie Katnach having a go from here, or the other option would maybe a chip towards the far post, towards someone like Magic to knock it back across goal. We'll have a look, see what Robbie Katnach has up his sleeve. Sam Brown lines up his wall right on the edge of the penalty area, so fair distance out, but Katnach is capable. He swings it in low this time, and it was a left leg of Ian Graham that got rid of it. It's fallen for Nick Bobolas, who gets away from Gianpaolo and wins the throw-in. Different type of free kick there from Katnach, but we'll have a look at that, talk about that in a second, as Bobolas is in the area. It's chipped into the area for Magic, but he's got that one wrong, and it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, well, I would have thought that he would have tried to have a strike on a goal, but he decided to put one in low.
Good anticipation from Ian Graham, though, just to stick the left leg out and make sure that none of the advancing Olympic players got a telling touch.
Yeah. For me, it's a little bit of a concern for Canberra FC. They seem that their back three are being pulled apart, sort of apart, certainly stretched a little bit. And, if Olympic can put a nice ball into those little wide areas, I think they might get some joy.
Well, here's Yarnold. Danning putting him under a bit of pressure. And there's not much room to manoeuvre there between Yarnold and Calabria, but in the end they sorted out between them. Here's Habtemariam. Verkic goes sliding in, and Habtemariam just skips away from him and plays the ball out wide to Tim Bobolas. He's got McLaughlin on the overlap, which he uses. Opportunity perhaps to get it into the penalty area, but it's a weak cross, and Brunskill tidies up and concedes a throw-in. Crossing's been letting both sides down a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of lack of quality at the moment. I don't know what it is, but if they can certainly put in a little bit more quality ball into the penalty area, I think they might get some joy. Both teams, that is.
Absolutely. We've got around about 10 minutes to half-time, so still plenty of time for both teams to register. Here's a chance for Dominici on the edge area, rides the challenge, shoots, and it's deflected into the arms of Sam Brown, and all the pace was taken off it, and Brown is looking to get Lamb away as quick as he possibly can on this near side. Here's Verkic. Switch of play again. And it's brought down by Kresic, and he finds Gianpaolo, who's operating very deep. And he's lost that, and here's Katnach. Bit of space for him to move into. But he's overrun the ball again to Ian Graham. And here's Lamb, back where we started a moment ago. Waters. Now's a chance perhaps for Pavlak to bring it forward and look for a red shirt as Danning goes into the box. But Pavlak cuts back. Finds Waters again, who were left-footed, will swing it in. Chance for Danning, but the flag's up. And offside is the call. But a nice move again from Canberra FC. But once he got into that final third, there was a lack of options because Gianpaolo seemed to be so deep.
Yeah, well, look, actually Canberra FC are getting quite a lot of joy when they're actually switching the ball very quickly from right to left. It's or they knock that long one and like I said, right to left, and you can see that Pavlak in that instance over there, the young Walter's got a touch on the ball and Pavlak overlapping. They seem to be getting a little bit of joy doing that, but again, it's just that quality in that last third that's letting them down.
The ball's sent forward, and Mensah's going to control that. It was a push by Katnach, and Verkic gives him a shove back. Doesn't really need to be getting involved in that. We just heard there that Monero Panthers have equalised at Nijong. It's Kuma 1, Monero 1. Bit of a surprise there.
Yeah, that is actually.
So we'll see what happens towards the end of the day in that one. Woden still lead 2-0 at Gungahlin. Here's Magic. Gianpaolo. And here's Waters. Nice little turn from Waters to find some room. Now Graham up onto halfway. His ball forward, though, is easily cut out, and it's going to break for Habtemariam and Dominici. Now the chance, perhaps, for Olympic. Again, they can't get the ball down. Kadnac does, and flicks it wide to Habtemariam, but he's got away from Verkic into the area. Danger signs here, but he's sliced the ball away from him. But referee Bruno Kales pulled it back for the challenge from Verkic. It was a bit of a lunge in. Let the advantage go, and nothing came of it, so it's a good call. And a free kick, a similar position to the one Kadnac had a few moments ago, but 5 or 6 metres closer, so that will make a bit of a difference, Dean.
Oh, I think they'll have a strike on a goal on this occasion, Russ.
And Tommy McLaughlin, we spoke about before, he's certainly capable from this range as well, but with Dominici and Kadnac around there, it's going to be a bit difficult for him to lay his claim to this one.
I think so.
But all three of those boys around the ball are capable of striking this one. Bruno Cal just having a word with Marko Verkic. He's had a couple of challenges where he's lunged in a little bit lately, and last warning probably from the referee.
Well, it looks like Canberra FC have learnt their lesson, and they're standing much closer to the ball than they did last in their semi-final in the FFA Cup, Russ.
Yeah, they're certainly not letting him take anything quick today. That game was won 3-1 by Olympic, and Kadnac took a really sharply taken free kick, and when the keeper wasn't looking, and just rolled it in the corner pretty much. It was a decent finish and put them on the way to the final.
I think that was the turning point of the game, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they say what he's got again here, as mentioned, he did put one in from the edge of the area on the weekend. Here's Kadnac up to it, strikes it again. It's a low one again, and it's into the wall. And it's fair to say he's not having his greatest afternoon at the moment, Robbie Kadnac, is he? Some of those touches have been a little bit loose.
No, Robbie would be disappointed with that effort, I suspect.
Yeah, well, Olympic's still on the attack. Here's Dominici out towards Colbertaldo. Now, he can hit them, and he does strike it. It's deflected, and the pace again has come off it. And Brown's having to get out there towards McLaughlin, and the keeper does exceptionally well there, Sam Brown, to get there ahead of Tommy McLaughlin, and bravely dive at his feet. As Olympic look to turn the screw. 6 minutes to half-time, still 0-0.
There's that diagonal.
And Lamb calls for it and gets it, and chance perhaps to put Danning in behind, but he was trucked well by Habtemariam on that occasion. Here's Verkic. And Waters. Now Lamb. Oh, goes past Magic with ease, does Lamb, and there's a chance out wide now for Danning, but the flag's up again. And that's frustrating for Canberra FC, because on that occasion there was 4 red shirts in the box too.
Yeah, I think Kofi would be disappointed with that.
Just went a tad too early.
Yeah.
But once again, Canberra Olympic back four, very solid. Know what each other's doing, very much trusting each other that they'll get it right. Here's Calabria. Now Yarnold. Good ball forward, and Kadnac has space. The runner in the channel is Dominici. He's not going to get that, and it's caught between the two of them, really. Timbublis on the overlap and Dominici through there, and in the end it's come to nothing. Going to be a goal kick. As the sun goes down and the temperature plummets a little bit more and the wind starts to pick up. Lovely afternoon, Dean.
Lovely afternoon in Canberra.
Pretty cool conditions. Magic wins a header well. He's going to get a second bite at it, though, as Graham has possession, and he loses it to Kadnac. Now McLaughlin. And Magic, right-footed, sweeps it to this near side. And that's a good ball for Habtemariam. Now, chance perhaps for him to take on his marker. Dances around with it for a bit and finds Calabria. Good ball into the area, but Mensah reads it. And sends it forward looking for Gianpaolo, but he's 1 against 4 here, so it'd have to be something incredibly good from Dominic Gianpaolo on that occasion. And Nick Bobolas easily wins the ball. Very isolated there was Gianpaolo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just isolated. Mensah clears his lines, and really only Dom there. They need some connection there.
There's Magic. In fact, there's a free kick been given. Magic will take it to Colbertaldo. McLaughlin. Brunskill wins it. A loose play again, and here's Danning. Chance perhaps to run. His ball is under hit though, and Gianpaolo is going to not get anywhere near that one. And you can see from the body language of some of these players, they're very frustrated at the moment. neither side being able to string together too much, which is fairly odd considering the quality that we've got out there. Here's Magic. He's going to look for a raking ball forward again, and Verkic easily cuts it out. Now here's Lamb. Danning, Yarnold tight. Cadenach gets a toe in, and Calabria does well to find Cole Bataldo, who clips the ball over the top. And here's Habtemariam. Will do well to keep that in as it runs away on the surface here at Deakin Stadium. Couple of minutes to half-time, Dean, and what's been your take on it overall?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been sort of an arm wrestle. Just when you think that Olympic had the ascendancy early on, Deakin took it off them, and it's probably sort of swung back to Olympic a little bit. It's a little cagey at the moment.
Yeah, we mentioned it a couple of times. It does need a goal, though, you think, as Brown creates a challenge between Calabria and Lamb. It's broken for Magic. Now Cole Bataldo. Calabria again. Now Yarnold. Another long ball forward. Flicked on by Magic, and it's going to go straight through to Brown. I'm very surprised that these tactics from both teams are playing the long ball. We didn't expect that before kickoff, really, did we?
No, you'd like to think that with the quality of both teams, that they would like to play through through their lines. They're obviously trying to see whether they can expose either side of the in behind that last line.
Well, here's Graham. And now Lamb has it. Loose pass for him, and Habtemariam picks it up, and loose pass for him as well, as Graham sweeps it to the far side, and it's brought down on the chest by Kresic, and a chance to bring the run forward from Kresic into the area. Here's Danning. Got there first. Space for Lamb on this near side. Can he get it onto his right foot to get a shot away? He can, but it's always the angle was against him on that occasion, and leading away, it's harmless and wide from goal. It's almost as if, Dean, that both sides have looked at the opposition and gone, well, we don't rate them defensively with pace there, and trying to drop the ball in behind, but it's not worked either way.
No. It is interesting that when Deakin do switch from right to left, they get a little bit of penetration. They get in behind. And maybe they should utilise some of those tactics a little bit more.
The final seconds of the first half. Can't imagine there'd be too much time added on, as McLaughlin tries to help it on its way. Kresic finds Danning. Here's Brunskill. Danning again. And Gianpaolo. Calabria's read it and picks it up easily. Now Habtemariam. Calabria. Habtemariam wants more from Magic, and a chance for Calabria to get forward, and Mensah shows his strength and just holds off Calabria, who's trying to bump him off the ball, but you're not going to win that battle with Michael Mensah.
No, not many people will, I don't think.
Strong central defensive effort from Michael Mensah in this first half as we're in stoppage time. Played about a minute of it, and there won't be too much more than that. Sam Brown lining up the goal kick. Both sides have had their chances in this first half. Opportunities at both ends. Dominici and Catenacci having chances for Canberra Olympic, and Angelo Constantinou making a smart save from Nico Kresic, and a plunging save to catch a ball from Dominic Gianpaolo shot. But Dean, at half-time, tempo's been a bit slow. It's not really had that spark, has it?
No, it's been sort of almost on, I don't know. It just needs an injection of something, and it just seems like both teams are just playing not to lose.
There's plenty of options on the bench that we talked about before, and we'll obviously talk about that in the second half as well. But at half-time here on Bar TV at Deakin Stadium, we're going to go off and try and warm up a little bit. It's Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0. Welcome back to Deakin Stadium on Bar TV for the PS4 NPL Canberra match between Canberra FC and Canberra Olympic. It's 0-0 at half-time. Just looking around to see if there's any changes on either side. Doesn't look like it, so Canberra FC will line up as it did in the first half. Brown in goal, Mensah, Verkic and Pavlak, the back three. Lamb, Graham, Brunskill, Kresic. In the midfield, 4 Waters just in front of them with Danning and Gianpaolo up front. Canberra Olympic with Constantinu in goal. The 2 Bobulus boys, Yarnold and Calabria in their back 4. Colbertado, Megic and Katanach in midfield. McLaughlin, Dominici and Habtemariam up front. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator, and we're here with Dean Ugrinic, head coach of Balcony United. And Dean, we're hoping for a little bit more spark in this second half.
Yeah, look, I hope that maybe the respective coaches have given some of the more expressive players a bit of a licence to go out there and attack.
As Graham sends an early long ball forward looking for Danning, and that was pretty much the tactic we saw in the first half. And doesn't look like there's going to be much change to that in the second half. We'll see. Hopefully we'll look to see a bit more football through the middle of the park. Here's Pavlak sweeping it into the area. Brunskill has gone forward. It's going to break for Gianpaolo, who isn't shy of a shot and has the technique and ability to connect well from there, but on that occasion didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, Dom's a very talented player, and you'd like to think that he can expose some of that quality on this and leave a mark on this game.
It's a goal kick comes away, and McLaughlin challenges with Kresic, and it's Kresic who wins it. Now Danning has it, and a chance perhaps to run at the defence. Here's Kofi Danning, Kresic on the overlap, and across can Bobulus to play it off of Kresic out for a goal kick. We had a look at the benches briefly in the first half, Dean, and looking at Olympic first off, Michael Reeve, Bernard Brenet, Josh Golevsky, Cal Smith. Plenty of talent on their bench to change things if needs be.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly in attack.
Is Mensah. Now Waters. Brunskill. Now Lamb out wide. Gianpaolo has it. Looking to take on his man, Dominic Gianpaolo. But that's good defending again by Olympic. And the way they come with the ball, here's Habtemariam.
And I think that's what certainly Dom needs to do a little bit more of. Start taking on his immediate opponent and try and create something.
Yeah, he's definitely got the skill to do so, hasn't he? And he's been known as a goal scorer.
Oh, definitely. And so if he can do that, if he can take a player on and beat that particular player, then you can start creating those 2v1s into the opposition penalty area.
Here's Katanach. Shadowed by 2 Olympic players. Pavlak's one of them, and he gets a touch on the ball, so it'll be a throw-in. Tim Bobulus looked to go early, but Tom McLaughlin wasn't awake to that one, so it's back with Megic. Ian Graham sharply in, and then pulls down Megic and is going to concede the free kick. And a little bit of afters there between Megic and Graham, and pretty uncalled for, really. 2 fiery characters, though, Dean.
Well, I think you've got Nathan. It was a centre-back's touch, to be honest with you, and he defended it like a centre-back would. As
Katanach takes his free kick, he drills this one in the low again, and it's cleared. Colbertaldo heads it into the air, and Brunskill and Habtemariam are challenging, and it's broken for Lamb, who gets quite fortunate. It's back with Verkic. He sends it forward, and it's straight back again. Now Habtemariam, perhaps he can put his foot on the ball. Megic, challenged well by Waters, breaks for McLaughlin, comes off his knees. And Olympic looking to start the second half on the front foot. Here's Katanach. Again, they're in sharply on Robbie Katanach. No time for him to get his foot on the ball. Now Danning has it, and he's got pace, as we know, and his first touch is good. He'll take on Bobulus. Danning up towards the edge of the area. Here's Gianpaolo, looking to drop the shoulder and perhaps create the shooting opportunity, but Colbertaldo's read that and does exceptionally well to bring the ball away and find Robbie Katanach, but Pavlak nips in ahead of him.
Yeah, Robbie is not probably working at and doing things at his usual standard.
Well, here's Kresic. And Gianpaolo for Kresic in the air. What a run this is. Great save. Constantinu. Brunskill's in there too. But they can't get in on target, and Olympics survive. Lovely 1-2 there between Kresic and Gianpaolo, and a good chance for the youngster, and Constantinu, big frame, saves well.
An excellent chance, and I think young Kresic will rue missing that opportunity because they've been far and few between.
Similar to the one that Waters had in the first half, but he couldn't quite. At least Kresic got it under his feet this time and got the shot away, but the power lacking and imposing goalkeeper Angelo Constantino when he comes out in that kind of area.
Oh, absolutely. He's been doing it for a number of years, Russ.
It's certainly experienced enough. As Waters wins the header, but it's fallen for Dominici. Now here's Katnach, who takes his touch away. Now Robbie Katnach is away on goal here. Mensah's chasing him back. Katnach into the area. Mensah does well to hold him up, but Katnach swings it in towards Dominici, and defensively Canberra FC do very well there. And credit to Michael Mensah for getting back, and also to Matthew Waters for helping out and clearing their lines there. But for a moment there, it opened up for Robbie Katnach, and it looked like it could be the moment.
Yeah, Mensah's done exceptionally well there, and it just shows the quality of a defender.
He stood him up and waited and got back quickly. Robbie Katnach just didn't have the pace to get away like he may have a few years ago. Here's Colbertaldo, and that looks like it could be offside, and it is. But the referee will let it go as Brown came to collect. Now Lamb. Gianpaolo. A lot of space on this near side for Kresic. Nobody tracking him back. Tim Bolus has to come across, and Kresic has created a chip into the area, but that's going to float to Angelo Constantino on the breeze. Just one of those occasions, I think, Dean, when Robbie's away there, you'd think, well, if that's Dominici, maybe he's got the pace to get clear.
Yeah, well, like we mentioned, I think Michael's done exceptionally well to recover in that situation. He still had a lot of work. He made a beeline straight for goal and towards his goal line there, and defended it exceptionally well.
Yeah, great piece of defending. Here's McLaughlin. Kresic takes it off his toe and wins the free kick. Seems to be a lot of space for Nico Kresic in the start of the second half here on this near side.
Yeah, I'd like to see Nico maybe take a touch and be a little bit calmer and maybe take his opponent on rather than just giving the ball away a little bit earlier.
So Pavlak's lining up this free kick. 4 red shirts in and around the penalty area to aim for, and he swings that up towards there, but Constantino's coming for this and tries to punch it and succeeds only, I think, in punching his own player in the face. Nick Bobolas caught a handful of Angelo Constantino's fist there, I think, and a bit of a pat on the back, but it's good defending from the central defender to put himself in that position, but that would have hurt.
Well, I think goalkeepers are instructed to get their fists onto the ball and basically wipe out anyone in front of them.
And then he did just that then, and Nick Bobolas bore the brunt of it, but defensively they were sound. 2 other games this afternoon in the PS4 NPL Canberra. Kuma Tigers 1, Monero Panthers 1 down in Nijong there, and at Gungala, and it's Gungala United 0, Woden Western 2 still. So both matches you'd say were a bit of a surprise results at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment.
Plenty of time for things to change, and still here at Deakin Stadium it's 0-0. There's Yarnold from Dominici again. Here's Habtemariam, and he's fouled. And